Is it not obvious what I'm going to say? You see KC behind me, it's Patrick Mahomes. And I think this is probably going to be a unanimous decision for all of us. It's obvious. I could rattle off all of his stats. We know that he is an incredible quarterback. Now, the thing here is that he has the safest and most surefire offense in those offensive weapons. We understand his ability to spread the ball to multiple targets, while he's also getting a lot more comfortable in using his legs. Now, I think the biggest question here is, are people willing to take him early in their drafts? You just said, Patrick, people are going to wait. If you're going to take Patrick Mahomes, which is going to be the very first quarterback off the board, the biggest question is, who are you willing to miss out on to make sure that you land Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, that's the concern. Look, I'm taking Mahomes as the first quarterback. I'm probably not going to get him because of where he goes in drafts. And here's the thing. If you're taking him as the first quarterback, that's not you saying that he is going to be the top scoring quarterback. It's basically saying that you feel confident that his range of outcomes is pretty narrow and that he is going to be probably a top 3, top 5 at worst guy. That's the whole point of taking him first. But on the flip side, you're going to have to take him probably in the 3rd or 4th round in a lot of drafts. And at that point, I feel like there's still a lot of quality running backs and wide receivers on the board that I need to get. So I haven't gotten Patrick Mahomes yet, just because right now the asking price is too much. I can go on a whole other rant about how we need to change that and make it so that it is not a disadvantage, but that's for a different time and show.
Yeah, Kimmy, you were absolutely right. It is going to be unanimous. And also our reaction to the question is unanimous as well. Because for me, someone in your league is going to take him before you do. And most likely, if you take him before that person does, before that particular sicko takes him, then there was a really good player on the board when you did it. So beware. Congratulations if you get him. But if you do, you probably got him before you should have. So let's keep it here with the quarterbacks. Now that we know the number one off the board, who it is going to be, let's pick between a couple. Who would you prefer to have on your team, Marcus? Aaron Rodgers or Kyler Murray?
I'm going to go with Kyler here because we love quarterbacks who can run with the football. And that is one of the things Kyler does so well. I mean, this is a guy who just missed out on 1,000 rushing yards last year, certainly has the ability to do it this year if he wants to. But we just want guys who can run. You look at the top 10 quarterbacks from last year, and pretty much all of them were giving you at least 300 or more rushing yards. So as much as I love Aaron Rodgers, and I really cheered for the Aaron Rodgers petty party all last year, I feel like it's going to be hard for him to do that, to duplicate that again this year. And I see Rodgers as more of a kind of a back-end fringe, top 10 guy, where I see Kyler as really with a shot to end up being the number one quarterback at the end of the year.
Yo, Marcus, come on now. I understand the hype for Kyler, and I love Kyler Murray, but if the question is, would you rather take Aaron Rodgers or Kyler Murray? The answer here is obvious, that it's Aaron Rodgers. You just said he's on his petty party. This is a revenge tour for him. Why do you not think that potentially and probably his very last season being played in Green Bay, he's not going to try to go on yet another MVP-like run? Now, this is kind of like when you work out and you want to get really hot and like in really good shape right before you break up with someone, just so that they actually see what they're losing as it walks away. That's exactly what is going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. This is a petty party. He's going to break up with the Packers, and he's going to do it looking real nice and be in a fantasy number one quarterback.
That story sounds real personal, Kimmy. That sounds very specific.
Yeah. Is everything okay?
I don't want to talk about it.
Right.
I don't want to talk about it, guys.
How much more mad can Aaron Rodgers get? He was fantastic last year. There has to be an upper limit, right? You can only go Super Saiyan God level, right? Until they write like another level on top of that, some plot armor for Aaron Rodgers. I'm just not necessarily convinced. I'm exceedingly happy either way, but there's just the cheat code factor with Kyler going in his 3rd year in the exact same offense with the same play caller. There's not many quarterbacks at all that can say that league-wide. And sure, it sputtered a year ago, but if we've ever believed, now is the time for Kyler Murray and company and Cliff Kingsbury in the desert. And if not now, then when? That's what we expect. It's time for Unexpected Performance, presented by EA Sports, Madden NFL 22. Let's talk about Jalen Hurts. Is he a quarterback that you are targeting, Kimmy? And if so, the important question, when?
Yeah, I love Jalen Hurts, and I think his current ADP is around round 11. So I think I'd be pretty darn comfortable taking him right there. Now, I understand the sample size from 2020 was quite small. I think he only started for 4 games for the Eagles, but in that time, he did pretty darn well. I think he averaged something close to just shy of 17 fantasy points per game in those 4 starts, which is not a bad floor. Now, obviously, the sample size is small, but they did add a brand new number 1 wide receiver in Devonta Smith. He's been banged up with a little preseason injury, but he should be ready to go at the start of the season. That means 2 former Alabama teammates are back. And I think the 2 of them could be a surprising little duo. So if there's a guy that you want to target kind of late at the quarterback position in fantasy, Jalen Hurts, not a bad option this season.
No, absolutely love Jalen Hurts this season. And you talk about that stretch he had at the end of the year. I mean, let's go back to the conversation we just had about loving quarterbacks who run with the football. Weeks 14 through 17, those last 4 games of the season where he started, the only quarterback that had more rushing yards than Jalen Hurts was Lamar Jackson. So now throw in the fact, as you mentioned, they add Devonta Smith. I think they're going to throw the ball a lot more than people are anticipating this year. But the fact that he can get out of the pocket and make plays, I love it. And because, I've been drafting for a while with a lot of the diehards who everybody's trying to get that edge, which creeps his ADP up, which if I could get him in the 11th round, I would be thrilled. I've had to reach for him in the 9th on occasion just because I know there's somebody else out there that's eyeing him. And I got to try to sneak that last piece of pizza in there before somebody else grabs it.
And that's the problem with getting that last piece, that sneaky last piece of pizza, is there's a lot of arms going in the box, especially when you play with a bunch of absolute sickos like we do. I'm looking at about round 10. We're all there in line of where we would like to get Jalen Hurts, but I'll probably end up streaming it up because everybody saw it. It's hard to sneak up on people with Jalen Hurts, especially considering the way that the season